You get to take care of your kids and yourself. It's not a competition. It's not like, let me see what they need, and then whatever is left over, then take care of myself. That's not how this works. If you want the best possible experience with being a parent and have room to love on your spouse, you have to put yourself first. That does not make you selfish. You need to, just like the flight attendants say, put your mask on first. So when I say mask, this is what I mean by needs, okay? Obviously, you need oxygen. But what else do you need to be able to be a version of yourself for your family that you would feel proud of being, that you would end the day feeling, damn, I love who I am right now. I love who I am for my kids. I love who I am for my partner. What do you need to be able to do that? You need to do more stuff that makes you happy and make time for that. Welcome to the Marriage and Motherhood Podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Perda. As a marriage coach who's married with 3 kids, I know how much parenthood could change a marriage. If flirting, laughing, and having fun together feels like a thing of the past, then I'm here to teach you that marriage doesn't have to feel so hard with your parents, and your marriage can thrive even when you're in the season of raising kids. Whether you're in a good place in your marriage and you just want to continue growing together, or you're wondering if you even like your spouse anymore, this podcast has something for you. Join me here each week as we dive into what it takes to help your marriage grow, and maybe even do a 180. You'll learn ways to handle conflict better, bring that spark back into your relationship, as well as learn how to improve other areas of your life from my lovely guest experts. Are you ready for the next stage of your life in marriage? Let's dive in. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Marriage and Motherhood Podcast. And this is part 2 of the series of what I wish I knew before becoming a parent, so that whether you are wanting to become a parent and you are equipping yourself with as much knowledge as possible to set yourself up for success, or if you are already a parent and you're like, I don't like how I'm doing this right now. I don't like how I feel. So last episode, we talked about partnership and how that changes and what you can do about it. And today we're going to be talking about self-care. Now, before you roll your eyes, I want you to actually keep an open mind when listening to this, because I know how overused self-care is, but to me, self-care is underrated. It's not overrated, it's underrated. And the reason why I believe this is because at the core of our experience of life as a woman, as a partner, as a mom, as a daughter, as a friend, as a business owner, whatever, fill in the blank with all the possible roles you can play, it all is impacted by how much we take care of ourselves. If we do not take care of ourselves, all of that can feel very shitty. Because if on a scale from 0 to 100, we are operating with a baseline of feeling like we're a 15, 100 being the best possible we could feel, it's kind of like walking around, going about your day as a grumpy person. The way you see and experience the world is going to be filtered through that lens. Do you remember that childhood book called Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day? If you haven't read that book, it's all about how he's just sees everything negatively. And actually another book that came to mind is the one with the bucket. It's like about how everyone starts out with a bucket of water, and things you do can add to your bucket, or things that you do can poke holes in your bucket. And depending on how full your bucket is, you will experience life and interact and behave very differently. Now, self-care is the thing that determines what your filter, what your lens will be. So if you don't take care of yourself, then you're likely going to get easily frustrated. You're going to feel resentful. You're going to probably look at your husband if he's not, doing his part one day, or if he's having an off day. you're going to have lasers coming out of your eyes. Versus when you're feeling really good, you're like, oh, so patient. My kid's losing it and I am not losing it. And I am so able to just sit here and help them through it. And oh, my husband forgot to do this. Oh, he must be busy. I'll just help him do it. I'll just fill in here. That's the difference between not doing self-care and doing self-care. Okay. So when it comes to self-care, there are different things that go into this. It's not just getting our nails painted and having a spa day and things like that. Those are super nice. I wish I could do them weekly. Who wouldn't want that? I would love to have a 90-minute massage every single week, as well as getting pedicures and facials and getting my hair washed professionally. I mean, that would be amazing. And while that is one form of self-care, there are other forms of self-care, like things that aren't so sexy to talk about, like your needs, eating, sleeping, boundaries. Ooh, I said the B word. Your needs, notice I'm not saying likes, I'm saying needs. These are your basic things that you need in order for you to feel like yourself. Now, this varies from person to person. So stop looking at other people and be like, oh, she looks happy. I should do what she does. No, this requires a level of self-awareness, you taking time to figure out what makes me happy, what makes me angry, what makes me sad, what makes me frustrated, what adds to my life. I recently saw something on social media where it said, I'm going to butcher this, by the way, so if you've seen this, I'm sorry. It's probably not going to be the same, but hopefully it'll sound familiar. But there was something I saw on Instagram where it was like, you aren't burned out because you have too much to do. You're burned out because you're not doing enough of what you like. And I was like, damn, so true. So true. But also, there are a select few of you who are literally doing too much because you're trying to be super mom. And we're not about that here. Okay. You get to take care of your kids and yourself. It's not a competition. It's not like, let me see what they need. And then whatever is left over, I will then take care of myself. That's not how this works. If you want the best possible experience with being a parent and have room to love on your spouse, you have to put yourself first. That does not make you selfish. You need to, just like the flight attendants say, put your mask on first. So when I say mask, this is what I mean by needs, okay? Obviously, you need oxygen. But what else do you need to be able to be a version of yourself for your family that you would feel proud of being, that you would end the day feeling, damn, I love who I am right now. I love who I am for my kids. I love who I am for my partner. What do you need to be able to do that? And just like what I shared, it's not about taking stuff off your plate unless you are literally that person who's like, oh, I don't need my spouse to do anything. I will do it all myself. And you don't know how to ask for help and you don't know when to say no. If that's you, then yeah, you do need to take stuff off your plate. But if you're like, no, I have a manageable load and yet I am still unhappy, then you need to do more stuff that makes you happy and make time for that. Whether it's coloring, doing something creative, cooking, seeing friends, reading books. What is it that you need? Is it that you need to get ready for the day without any interruption? Is it that you need to shower with no one else in the bathroom? These are all things that are important for you to know about yourself so that you can share that with whoever can support that. For example, you might have thought that the whole showering by yourself alone in the bathroom is a weird thing to say, but years ago, I realized that I literally need that. So my husband has learned to not be in the bathroom when I'm showering most days. I just need to be by myself. I need to use that time to decompress, to enjoy my shower, be present without someone else making sounds in the bathroom or doing stuff, or me just feeling like there's someone else there. That is a need for me. That helps me be ready to connect with my husband after the kids are in bed, whether it's just talking or being intimate. So, what individual needs do you have that you need me to give you permission to go after? Because I'm giving it. Here is your permanent permission slip to do those things. Inform your partner. Ask him what his are. Work together to give each other what you need. That's partnership. That's support, right? So do those things. Take time out for yourself. What do you need to do to relax? What do you need to do to grow yourself? What hobbies do you have? What interests do you have? Another aspect is making sure that you have a support system outside of your family. And when I say family, I mean like your kids and your spouse. Okay. So if like your sister's your best friend, your cousin, your mom, your dad, whatever, or friends, you need to have regular points of contact with that group, whether it's phone calls, text messages, seeing them, whatever. That is essential when it comes to self-care. You need to be able to have people to talk to. And what's even better is if you have people who fulfill different buckets, because it's kind of hard to have this one person be everything for you. You're super lucky if you do have that one person, but maybe you have someone who's really good at listening. Maybe you have someone that's really good at giving you sound advice. Maybe you have someone who's like super funny or really fun to hang out with, who doesn't go into the deep stuff. Maybe you have someone who is really creative or is in the same line of work with you and can really relate to you and understand what you mean by certain things. Mom friends, friends that aren't moms, friends with moms who your kids are friends with. There's different levels of support systems that we need. Are you fulfilling that? So I just recently moved to Georgia, and my neighbor, she's so sweet. She has been pivotal to me meeting people here. She has been introducing me to all her friends. She recently had a Moms and Mimosas brunch at her house the second day of school. And I decided to really plug myself into this new place that we live in Georgia because I need my network. I left my whole network back in California, so I need a new one here. Now, I still stay connected with my old one, but I need one that's local too. So I also joined a tennis team. There's like 14 of us, 15 of us, and I've never played tennis a day in my life. Like maybe there was a little thing when I was in high school when they made you play it during PE, but that's about it. I don't remember it very much. And I was like, I'll just try something new. It's good exercise. I'm going to meet people. I'm going to be around other moms and hopefully make solid friendships out of that because that's something I need. Community is important to me. And whether you are an introvert or an extrovert, community is important to everybody. It just looks different to everyone. So maybe to you, it's just one or two friends. Or it could be like, I need to be surrounded by people. So you're like, I need 20 friends. Not that you need to quantify it, but I'm just giving you an example. Either way, all of these are super important when it comes to you feeling like yourself because your partner should not and is not everything to you. There are things that you need that he cannot fulfill. And when you expect him to, that is unfair. So, making sure that you are connecting with these people because they're going to be the ones who can really relate to you and can help bring you down if you're losing it, can help you be more kind to yourself because you need these people to remind you of who you are and remind you to be nicer to yourself, to offer yourself more grace and compassion, to not try and be super mom and like striving for perfection, and mirror back to you and let you know how they see you, which is probably way nicer than how you see yourself. And then, of course, there's the physical aspects. Are you taking care of your health? Are you moving your body so you feel strong and energetic? I know for a while I wasn't exercising and I made excuses because I didn't have time. But let me tell you, it made such a big difference on my mental health and how I viewed myself and how I felt in my body as soon as I started exercising. And I just started out with walking, right? And now I walk 3.5, 4 miles a day. I just like spent 1 hour walking. And I'm also playing tennis, except I recently rolled my ankle. So as of right now, I want a break from exercise. But it made such a big difference when I was doing that stuff regularly, right? It wasn't just about, oh, I want to look good. Of course, I want to look good and I want to fit in clothes better, but I felt more focused, more energized, more present, more patient, more kind, more able to handle normal life stressors instead of just losing it every 5 seconds. I mean, I wasn't actually doing that, but I wasn't being that person that I really like very much. I had a bigger capacity to handle stress. My mood was better. Also, my relationship was better. I felt like I had a better libido. So, taking care of yourself isn't just about you. When you take care of yourself, all your relationships will improve. They just will, because you're going to be a better version of yourself. You're going to be more intentional about how you're being instead of reactive. Being reactive was my biggest downfall. And I was reactive because I wasn't self aware. I wasn't taking care of myself. I was just blaming everyone for everything that wasn't going my way. But life isn't about things going your way, because if that's the case, then you should just be alone. But that's a lonely life, right? And when you are living a life with other people and you're in relationship with other people, and I mean with your kids, with your spouse, with your friends, etc., you owe it to yourself and them to be your best self. And that means taking care of yourself. Like I said, knowing what it is that you need, knowing what you like, what you don't like, understanding your emotions, setting boundaries. Boundaries might sound scary if you're not comfortable with setting them and you haven't been given a good example of what it means to set them. But boundaries are very healthy to have in place. Boundaries help you be in a better relationship with other people. A lot of people might view boundaries as like you putting up a wall and being super rigid. That's not what boundaries are. Boundaries are not a way to control other people. It's a way to be in relationship with other people. I'll have to do another episode on that. I'm going to have to jot down all these things that I'm saying about what I'm going to do next. But honestly, boundaries are a wonderful way to practice self-care. The beautiful thing about all the things that I'm saying, though, is that all these different ways to practice self-care compared to getting your nails done, getting your hair done, getting a massage, retail therapy, is that they have long lasting effects and they're sustainable. They help make your life better and better and better. It's not a temporary fix where it's like, oh, I got my pedicure. Cool. That felt so good in the moment. And, every once in a while when I look at my toes, oh, that looks nice. No, these are like, okay, I set that boundary and now I don't have to deal with that anymore. I feel better. I feel more respected. I feel like our relationship is improving, or I communicated a need and it's like, oh, I'm getting it met. I talked to my husband about this being important to me and he's supporting it and I feel more whole, right? These are all things that help us experience life better, which will help us interact with other people better. So, if ever you questioned whether you had time for self-care and how important it is, I hope that listening to this reminded you that you deserve to make time for self-care and that it actually creates more time for you, not physically more time, but energetically more time, because you will have more energy to handle life, and that you deserve this. And the positive ripple effect that it has on your relationships is well worth the effort. You might be like, oh, but I don't like having a plan around it. Okay, well, what's the alternative? When you don't do it, who are you? Do you like her? Do you like how life feels right now? If the answer is no, there you go. It is worth the effort. Okay. Now, that's it for this episode. Please go take some time. If you need to, re listen to this. But honestly, jot down everything that you need. Redefine self care right now and go put those things into motion. Talk about it with your spouse so that you have an accountability partner and you have someone that makes it that much more easy to do. Or if you have childcare, then go talk to them. Communicate with whoever you need, because it does take a village, and do what you need to do to make this happen for yourself. And your future self will thank you so much for it. And you're going to notice that your relationships with your kids and your spouse are going to greatly improve as a result of that. And I can attest to this because I have firsthand experience with this. I have clients who have done this and they are like, wow, my life is completely different. My life and my marriage has done a 180. And so this is entirely possible for you too. And if you're needing support with this, reach out to me. I'm more than willing to give you some ideas, or if you want long-term support, we can work together. So anyway, I will catch you back here on the next episode. And I'm also going to be continuing this series with another topic on things I wish I knew before I had kids that affects marriage. So stay tuned for that. And if you haven't already, go listen to the first one. It was about partnership. And I'll catch you back here next time. Bye. That's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. If you did, please send me a message over on Instagram at Michelle Perta Coaching to let me know what you loved most about it. Hearing from my listeners is my absolute favorite. And if you've been loving this podcast, please leave a rating and review. This will help people like you find the show and get the help they need. Catch you here on the next episode. Bye.